Wife and I got into a car accident and I discovered that. Update 3. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. It was all I could do to get through that next day without crying like a lunatic at work and yet pretend to be getting things done. I was barely able to keep lunch down, but I left at 3 and headed to the firm feeling nauseous. I arrived first intentionally. I wanted her to be forced to enter, sit on the side away from the door and unable to try and approach me. I was scrolling through pictures of our perfect family that never existed when she came in. She needed assistance walking and was still in 2 casts from the wreck. I didn't have to worry about her trying for a hug. I thought she might be playing it up for sympathy, but we did have a bad wreck. I finally wanted her just to sit the hell down so I could ask her to explain herself. Once we were all seated, water was offered and the meeting began. My lawyer started by asking Mari if she minded us recording the meeting. She was fine with it. As soon as we started recording, my soon-to-be ex-wife began to try and apologize. I bluntly interrupted her and asked her point blank how many men had she cheated on me with and when did it start? There were enough confirmed hookups from the pie to know the guy I caught her with wasn't the first by a mile. She didn't know what we knew, of course. And I guess to reduce the severity of the incident before the wreck, her plan was to only admit to what she knew we knew. I asked her again, roughly, how many men she had slept with since our son was born. Giving that specific time frame seemed to give her a minute's pause, but she kept trying to act clueless. She still thought it was all a game at that point and I was losing my cool. Nadia put her hand on my shoulder and gently pushed me back away from the table. She looked at Mari and asked if I was a good father. She quickly gave me a glowing review saying she couldn't ask for a better father to raise her children. I wanted to stand and flip the table the way she stated her children. Nadia then asked her if the other father of her child was going to be a good dad too. As Mari was asking what other father she was talking about, my counsel slid the paternity results for Carrie across the table. As much as I have hated what my life has become since discovering her cheating, I needed to be there to see her reaction in person. She was obviously shocked to know Carrie isn't mine. And she tried to hit me with the whole, "You're her father who has raised her," and I had to shut that down. I asked her who Carrie's father is. She looked down with a hint of shame and I thought she might be protecting someone. When she said she didn't know for sure who Carrie's father is, Mari saw me truly break down in tears for the first time. I just couldn't take it anymore and lost it. Mari was crying but asked to try and explain. She reminded me about the postpartum depression she went through after Michael was born. I did my best to be as sympathetic as I could at the time. I can say with certainty I spent every moment I could looking after my son so she could have time to herself. There were days she was so depressed she couldn't even get out of bed, and I looked after all of us. But I loved doing it. I loved doing it for the family I had. I remembered. I had actually been foolish enough to think making it through had made our relationship stronger. Nope. She didn't blame it on Rebecca. But when she first got Mari to go on a few girls' nights out, I was relieved if not grateful. They'd been best friends for years but hadn't seen much of each other during the pregnancy. Mari said she got really drunk the second time they went out and she let some guy feel her up while she gave him head. She said she felt guilty about it for a while, for months. But she began to resent not getting to be young and free to be with whomever she chose. She told us she started hooking up with guys the night she would go out with Rebecca. Until the night before our wreck she'd never not come home or come home late over the years. She claimed she didn't want to develop feelings for any of the guys. She claimed she always used protection and never slept with the same guy more than 3 times. She said she just wanted sex. I was dumbfounded. Finding out your wife is a filthy lying slut tends to do that. It was like learning your life is a reality show you didn't ask to be in. I wanted to yell at her, but I was too busy calculating how many men she possibly cheated on me with over a period of years. Nadia asked her if she had any idea who Carrie's father might be, and she swore she always assumed she was mine. My lawyer pointed out that obviously something happened and suggested maybe a condom broke. When my wife confessed that did happen a few times with a few guys, I lost my shit. I asked her who in the hell she was. Because I didn't know the person telling me such horrible things. Like she was telling me to pass the salt. I asked her when she started hating me and why. I asked what I had ever done to warrant being treated like she did. How could she do this to her daughter? I raged. She took it, knowing it was all true. After what she'd just told me and what I expressed about how I feel about her, divorce is a given. What was a marriage had become scorched earth. The only thing left to do was total up the casualties. I've lost a wife and daughter, that's 2. A wife lost a husband, that's 3. A daughter lost a father, and a brother had his sister become a half. Then you get into grandparents and in-laws. Mari essentially destroyed 2 entire families. Her parents will not be okay with what she was doing. And I swear by all that's holy I will let them see all the evidence the pie finds. She admitted to meeting with men from dating apps with Rebecca and using girl time as a time to hook up. She claimed she never meant to hurt me. She swore she had no idea Carrie isn't mine. I actually believe her because I had no idea either. But DNA doesn't lie. I asked why she didn't just divorce me. She came straight out and said because she didn't want to lose the security I gave her. She cried. All of it was said through tears. But I know my expression was just scornful. I was disgusted at the person who sat across from me. I feel used, humiliated, emasculated. I feel defeated. I'm pretty sure one of the reasons she came to talk without a lawyer is due to the fact I own everything. She doesn't have much to lose outside of a small 401k. And my assets I entered the marriage with by inheriting my grandfather's estate when I was 14. The woman I call mom is not my biological mother. My mother died when I was 2 from a rare fast-spreading cancer. My dad remarried the woman I call mom when I was 4. I have known my entire life she wasn't my biological mother, and I wasn't her biological son. I learned later she couldn't have children and raising me helped her experience that. When my biological mother's dad died, what was left to her went to me as her heir, but I couldn't touch it until I was 21. I studied hard and went to school. But I don't have to work. Fiscally she knows I'll mop the floor with her in the divorce and she won't be getting anything close to half. She has a job, she isn't able to work at the moment with her injuries, but she has a job. Part of me wants to punish her and the other part of me wants to be done with her. Mari was obviously medicated for pain, maybe that's why she was being so blunt. But her words just cut me deep as my imagination made them even worse. I asked if she felt any shame. She claimed she did. I asked how the hell we were going to find out who Carrie's father actually is. My STBXW started in with the I already know who her father is. BS. I was not in the mood for some philosophical discussion about what constitutes being a father. Whomever Carrie's father actually is deserves to know, and she needs to know about his family for health reasons. The evidence the PI had found didn't stretch back to before Carrie was born. I asked her if she could find any of these men or had saved their numbers. She had the audacity to say the point of losing their numbers was to never see them again. My God, how did I not see that logic? I told her she might have wanted to keep his number to let him know he had a child on the way or she got an STD. I want my name off of Carrie's birth certificate. DNA proves she is her mother's child and not mine. As stated, I will support her financially on my own free will long past her turning 18. She will not want for anything. As for my son in custody, I'm truly not sure what to do. Before the paternity test I was strongly going for a 90/10 arrangement, giving my ex-wife custody 1 weekend a month and certain holidays. Now that Carrie is not mine, I don't feel right about pursuing custody for her even if I could get it. As Michael is in fact her brother, albeit half, I don't want to take him from her too. I don't want either of them to suffer. But I haven't seen Carrie since the test results and I can't let her see me break down because of them. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story, check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.